Here we go. Welcome to another bike-related video. Here in Vietnam, the most common way of transporting yourself is not by foot, it's not by car, it's by motorbike. And there are so many motorbikes everywhere. It's being said that there are almost as many motorbikes in Ho Chi Minh City as there are people. And I think the numbers I heard were 8 million people and 7 million motorbikes. And I have no way of checking that, but it seems highly likely. So when you're a tourist here, of course or an expat, it is a brilliant idea to get yourself a motorbike. But most people don't have a Vietnamese motorbike license. So and it's a bit, you can't, as a foreigner, without a residence permit, you can't obtain a local license. If you do happen to have a motorbike license from your home country, and and that your home country is a member of the Vienna Convention from and I always fail to remember if it's 68 or 69, then you can have an international driving permit, which will allow you to legally drive a motorbike here. In all other cases, it's illegal. And but there is the solution. You can ride legally on an electric scooter. I made a video about that already. Find it on here. And also, you can drive a small motorbike, which means no more than 49.5 cubic centimeters cc. They're usually being referred to as 50 cc because that's easier. So of course that's what I do, because why would I go to a foreign country and systematically break the law daily with everything that incurs? So some people think that they are limited to almost nothing by riding a 50cc bike. And this video is about two things. I'd like to show that I don't think that I'm being limited by riding a 50cc. And then the other thing is I will examine if what suits me best and what might suit you best. A semi-automatic, like the one I'm driving now, is the one I bought when I got here in November, or a automatic scooter, which I will rent one for a day, and then I will make the comparison as to what suits me the best, and also what might suit you the best. Even though I don't know you, I can still do some pros and cons. So sit back and relax, and I will first of all, now I will present to you both the scooters. After this clip, I will go and show you the rented one, and then I will take a drive on that, and then after I'm done with that, I will then get back to this bike. Her name is Lydia, by the way, and then I will do the same drive on her. But now let's go and do the automatic thing. So I usually drive my own little semi-automatic bike, Lydia, but today I'm doing a test to compare how a semi-automatic compares to an automatic. And for that purpose, I'm here at reputable, as far as I know, rental company, Huanga. I hope I'm saying it right, because I've done my research, and according to that, Kymco should make the best quality 50cc automatic scooters. And I could choose between this model, which is called a Kymco Hermosa or Kymco Candy, and has this sleek design. And then the one that I actually chose, which is also a Kymco, obviously, and it's called a Kymco Like, which is a more traditional, classic scooter design, almost like an Italian Vespa. And I made that choice because, according to my research, which is AI, this one should drive more comfortably and be a better bike. It could have a better quality feel, because I want the best bike possible for this test, to see if I actually like this one as much as I like my little semi-automatic bike, or maybe even in some cases like it more. So far I have really not ridden very long on it, so I can't say a lot about it, except that it's very easy, very intuitive, and if you ever rode any kind of bike before, this one is going to be very easy. And let's start with the design of it, the overall design, which is, yeah, classical scooter design with these rounded shapes, and in my opinion, very beautiful, very nice design. And there are a couple of details that I already like. The first one is that this is where you fill the tank. So if you're driving somewhere and you have luggage on, say, strapped to the back seat, you can still fill the tank there without lifting the seat in, and I think that's really, really nice. And then also there's a compartment here for your drinks, or you can drop the key. This is like a smart key, which I'm sure once you get used to it, you will appreciate. So far I haven't gotten used to it and I'm not a fan, but in a minute I'll try to drive away from here, and you'll see that I'll probably be struggling with the key, but so be it. And then let's see if I can figure out how to open the compartment. And I could, because here is the luggage compartment, and this is spacious. When we get to the point where I show you Lydia, you'll see that Lydia has almost no luggage compartment, and this one has a lot. I can easily fit my bag in here. I'm not sure if I can fit my helmet, because my helmet is kind of large, and I would be able to push it down. So yeah, I could fit my helmet there. But of course it's very, very practical to have luggage stash. The instruments, very easy. You have the indicators for the light, for turning. You have the fuel gauge, you have the speedometer, the odometer, and basically that's it. So it is really, really easy to use the bike and to navigate around the controls. So yeah, I guess that's it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to strap the camera onto my body, and then I will drive towards the Highband Pass for two reasons. First reason is I love the Highband Pass. Second reason is that one of the things that I think an automatic may struggle with is steep climbs. So I'll see if that's true or not. And the good thing is that I'll also get some city traffic, because I need to ride through the city to get to the sort of beginning of the Highband Pass. So I will take you with me, but don't worry, I'll do some editing so you don't have to go along on the whole trip. Here we go. I'm driving here along the North Beach on my way out of Da Nang, and I have to say that this little Like bike is doing really well. It's very easy to ride, it's very comfortable, and the size of it, for someone my size, I'm 174 centimeters tall. I don't know how much that is in inches or feet or whatever you measure if you're American, but for my size it fits nicely. but it's doing very well. I'm now driving at, according to the speedometer, 41 kilometers an hour. According to the GPS, 47. I trust the GPS. It does that easily. I haven't tested it at a higher speed than this. I'm not sure how fast it will go. I'm also not sure if I'm going to test that during this day. But so far it has easily followed other people in traffic. So driving it is easy and very relaxed. We shall see how it feels with the mountains. So we're getting closer to the actual pass, leaving the city center over this bridge. I've driven that pass many times, and for some reason it keeps dragging me back. I'm so fascinated about it, the beauty of it, and also because I usually drive it on smaller bikes, so seeing if I'm able to drive it is part of the experience. So far I have actually been able to drive it on every bike I've tried, and I'm actually quite sure that this little girl will do it as well. She seems to be handling everything fine. The steering is really nice. It's predictable. I thought maybe the smaller wheels would make her feel wobbly, but I think the broader tires are part of giving it a really nice feel while steering. And so far I'm really enjoying riding her. I'm not gonna name her. I always name my vehicles, but this is a one-day lease, so I'm not gonna name her. I don't want to be too attached to her. Everything that has a name is kind of, something you'll get attached to. So she'll be Like. Her name will be Like for the day. And I like Like. I was talking about the top speed before, and I was wrong. If you ride far enough with the throttle, full throttle, I got her to 53 in the GPS. And when I'm talking about top speed, I'm not talking about it because I will be riding at full speed. It's because if the speed limit is, let's say, 50, sometimes it feels safer, at least to me, to be able to ride a little bit faster than that if there's some situation you like to get out of by passing it. It's just like my car back home. I actually stay within the speed limits usually, but my car of course can drive quite a lot faster than the speed limits, and there are situations where that feels safer to just for a few seconds drive slightly too fast, but you got out of it, you got away. And for that reason, I like also the bike to be able to drive 60 or 70, which is the top speed of Lydia. But it's a very comfortable ride. It's very relaxed, a very easy ride, I have to say. It's more relaxed and it's more easy than on a semi-automatic. But the semi-automatic has a more direct control. We'll get to that once I take Lydia for the same ride that I'm taking today to make a comparison. Here we are, now starting to climb. So while we're riding here on this stretch, first part of the Highland Pass, let me go through some of the pros and the cons of this type of bike. And the most obvious pro is that it's not complicated. If you can steer it, you can drive it. You get on the bike, you turn it on, and you start driving. And if you're not scared of driving it and you understand how to do the turns, there's nothing more to it. All you need to decide is where to go and obviously how fast you're comfortable driving. So that's a big deal. The next thing is that this one at least is quite comfortable. The suspension of it, the seat, everything is comfortable and soft. So I think it's going to be less painful for my bum than riding my normal bike, Lydia. But I haven't driven long enough yet to know that. And thirdly, the shape of it means that you have a floor where you can put your feet that feels very comfortable or very safe. Also very clean if there's dirt or rain. And obviously you have a place to put luggage or the groceries. So if you're out shopping, you can actually just put groceries right in front of you. That's very easy. Some of the cons are that it's a heavier bike to maneuver and also to move, to park, to get out of the parking space, to back it out. So yeah, it's heavier. It's more complicated also for the mechanics. So the maintenance of it is more complicated, and it needs more maintenance, and it's more expensive to keep maintained. And thirdly, this CVT gear system doesn't put the force from the engine directly to the back wheel. It goes through this complicated CVT gear system, which means that you lose some power. I don't know exactly how much power you lose, but if it's a 3.5 horsepower engine, as I believe this one is, then maybe it sends 2.7, 2.5 horsepower to the wheel in the back. And that matters on a small bike, because if you keep within the law, the 50cc, you can't just buy a bigger engine to compensate for the loss of power. So you have the power you have, and if you lose some of that power in the transmission, well, there's nothing you can do about it. So that's a con as well. But as you follow me driving here, you can see that so far I can hear on the engine that it's working hard, but there's no way of I'm not doubting that we can do it. So far we haven't reached any steep slope that we are not able to drive through. Here we're struggling, and I'm losing speed. It's just coping, but only just. It's obviously something you do by yourself. With one person on the bike. I would not attempt doing this with two people on the bike. But neither would I on Lydia. We are now getting closer to the final hairpin bend, which, as I remember it, is also the steepest incline, or the one that feels the steepest. So basically that's the final exam. If we get through that hairpin and up the next hill, we're at the top. We're very close. And the speed is now 20 kilometers per hour, 22. Now it says 10% incline. That's the first time I see that sign today. I have to slow down for the truck and thinking, how's that going to work when I when I want to go up again, but that's fine. We're handling that. That's not a problem. I'm overtaking here basically to test the bike to see if it could gain speed again on an incline after having been forced to drive slowly, and it could. Not a lot, but it could.
Drej til højre, og derefter du ankommer til destinationen.
And we have reached the summit. Here we are at the summit. I've been here many times before, and it took me some time actually to realize that when you're here, you should walk up this path and see that this small little fortress up there, because there are divine views from there. It took me some time to figure that out, because when I drove here, it was very often, just like today, about the bike more than the view. But yeah, we got here, and it was fine. It felt like a struggle every once in a while, but then she always did it, so it always went well. And I think you need to get to know your bike, no matter which bike it is, this bike or another bike. You need to get to know it to see if what it's capable of. Which means that if I had a bike like that and I wanted to go to the Haivan Pass tomorrow, or I wanted to drive to Hue, I would then be absolutely positive that passing this pass is not going to be an issue. Which means that if I go here again on a bike like this, I would do it in a more confident way. Which is the same thing with anything else. But I was here, and I will now return, and I will probably drive towards Hoi An to take a little bit of a longer trip. So after 1 hour and 25 minutes, I've arrived in Hoi An, and I took the drive here in one stretch without any brakes, and my bum is hating me for it. So even though I do find the Like to be quite comfortable, there's no way around. You need to take, or I need at least, to take a bum brake basically after 50 minutes. So I should drive 50 minutes, take 10 minutes bum brake, and then drive again, because after 50 minutes it starts to be annoying, and then it becomes increasingly annoying until I stop and get off. But then I'll learn my lesson. I've decided to go here to Hoi An to have lunch at a phenomenal restaurant which is called Tiago. It has a sister restaurant in Hoi An, that's why I know it. And while I sit there and contemplate over my food, I will probably say the final words about my experience with this absolutely delightful and really nice Like scooter that I've driven on. I've ordered my food, and this is not a food video, so let's skip through that. But while I wait for that, some thoughts about driving the Like today. First of all, my initial reaction was, wow, this is nice. It's such an easy ride, it feels so comfortable. And also this specific one, I haven't driven other automatic scooters, so I don't know if they have the same. But this one feels very well made. It oozes of quality. And if I wanted to buy an automatic scooter, I would actually really aim for this one. Or I would probably try also the other Kymco that I saw earlier today, the Kymco Candy or Hermosa, to figure out which one would suit me best. But the quality feel of this scooter is very, very good. And that was actually a big part of the pleasure of driving it. So that was one big plus. Another big plus is that I find it to be quite silent compared to the bike I'm used to driving. It just feels, the sound is more harmonious and less noisy, so to speak. So I like that as well. But there was one thing that I'm not sure of about the sound, is that it's quite windy today, and I'm driving with a helmet that I'm not used to driving with, but I can feel that helmet really catches the wind, and so the wind noise around the helmet itself, maybe that cancels out some engine noise from the bike. But yeah, the noise feels nicer and also more luxurious, so to speak. The seat is really, really nice. It's soft, it's comfortable, and so is the suspension. Also, the seat is big enough that if you want to drive two people on it, you can do that comfortably. So I enjoyed riding this bike a lot, and I really, I would consider a bike like this. If I didn't have a bike, I would really consider this one. So yeah, it's been a very positive experience riding this bike. I won't give you the conclusion yet, because I want to make, this was my Kymco Like day, and I will make in a couple of days, same day as you watch this video for you, but I will make a day also with Lydia, my semi-automatic bike, and then I will make a conclusion as to which bike I would choose in the long run if I didn't already have a bike, and also which bike I think will be an easy choice for a lot of people. But absolutely thumbs up for the Kymco Like. What a pleasure, what a quality machine, what a nice ride, really, really nice. So absolutely, very nice. Let me introduce you to my own little bike that goes by the name of Lydia. I have this thing with vehicles that I plan to keep, that I like to name them. Lydia is a semi-automatic bike, also 50cc, and and that is the main difference. There are two differences. One is the construction. This is called an underbone because this is where all the parts are that will carry the bike, and also, of course, this is where you change the gears. This is one gear down, this is one gear up, and it's as easy as that. And it's called a semi-automatic, which means that there is a clutch that will automatically engage in gear. You take off the revs, and then you change gear, and then you rev up again, and then automatically it engages again, which means that you don't have to hold the clutch if you're waiting at a red light like you would in a manual car, for instance. When you start, you just start. And also, you don't necessarily need to always start in the first gear. If you want it just nice and easy and calm, you can easily start in the second gear instead of the first one. And finally, I find that the fourth gear, the fastest gear, is quite long. It's quite forgiving. So in the city, even if I take a turn, that could be left or right, I don't necessarily need to go down one gear. I can very often stay in the fourth gear, and then if I want to make a slow and relaxed drive, just simply go back to speed again in the fourth gear. So you can treat it as It's not called a semi-automatic because of this, but you can drive it halfway the way you drive an automatic gear. But there are, of course, some main differences. I'm filming this after I already showed you the scooter, so you are familiar with that. And obviously the shape is one of the main differences. The gear shifter I already told you about, and then you have a foot brake for the back wheel, which once you get used to it is really nice. It is really an easy and nice way to brake. And then you have like a hand lever on the front brake, which on this one on Lydia is a disc brake. Once we get to the seat, like I showed you on the Like, that particular bike had the tank with the gasoline tank in front here. That is quite unusual, but very practical, and I'm very jealous about that. Here you need to open the seat, and then here's the tank. Also, the underseat compartment, the tank takes up a lot of space. The design doesn't give me a lot of space, and so this space is really small. I keep my raincoat in it. Well, what else do I forgot actually? This is if I need to wipe the seat. I don't know what that is. This is my poncho if it rains, and this is to keep my phone secure if it rains. These bungees are to fasten things if I need that. This is almost a joke, but this I can put this on top of my phone holder. I think it's more cute than useful. I don't really use it. And then finally I bring this bag, which today I brought a bigger bag, but it fits there, and it can do two things. I can keep things in it, a drink or a battery if I need to charge my phone, and I can use it also to keep my phone dry if it rains. Coincidentally, there's a similar bike right here. It's from the brand Viet Thai, which has now become very, very common. They are quite inexpensive bikes, just like mine was. But what I wanted to show you is that mine came with this rack at the back, which the passenger can hold. But I wanted to compensate, because I want to compensate for the small luggage space, and also because I would like to pack for longer rides in a way where I can open the seat without removing whatever I had strapped to the machine. I recently bought this luggage rack off Lazada. I was lucky enough to find one that fit perfectly, so it was simply take that one off, 4 screws, put this one on. Took 3 minutes, and then I have this luggage rack, which for me is a major upgrade because it's so practical. I can use it when I'm shopping, and I can use it when I want to travel somewhere. Whenever I travel, if I have an overnight stay, I need to bring my laptop because I'm never that much off of work, and so I have a bag with my laptop and some clothes or whatever, and now I can strap that on here and still be able to open the seat when I need to refuel, and that is for me a big plus. This specific bike, originally the Sirius, is made by Yamaha, and they didn't make that many 50 cc's, but they don't at the moment, but they are there. When I bought this one, I have to admit, it was on day 2 when I arrived in November, and I was just looking. Oh, I want a semi-automatic bike. Oh, that's a Sirius. Oh, that's a well-known one. Let me say, and then I didn't notice that it actually does not say Sirius. Oh, surprise! It says Sirius, and also it does not say Yamaha. It says JP, which stands for Japan, which is, you can see, I think you can see it here on the engine. So this is a clone, a copy or a clone, call it whatever you want. And I see a few parts inside it that are branded Viet Thai. So I do believe that this was made, this is from 2022, And since then, particularly recently, Vietai has been very popular everywhere because they make reliable bikes that are not luxurious. They really aren't. But they are cheap and they're easy to run, and they have become common. And having something that's common is really good because then it's easy to find spare parts and have them repaired and stuff. So I don't know. Looking up Japan on Google or AI is not easy. So I don't have a lot of information about it. Anyway, Lydia is fine. She drives perfectly. And one of the reasons why I chose, I'll get back to that, one of the reasons why I chose a semi-automatic is that I know that my use of the bike will include some inclines, like the Highland Pass, like longer rides during a day or something. And I felt more certain that a bike with a semi-automatic gearbox could do that. Just when I took her over, whenever I wanted to rev her up in a low gear and on an incline, she kind of choked, as if she wouldn't take the throttle. I examined that on AI, and I found out that that's quite normal. It's all about how the valves are being set by the factory. And the factory's default is to make them quite tight, because that makes the bike very economical to ride. But it also has the side effect that it doesn't really handle high revs in difficult situations. So I had her at a workshop where they loosened the valves a little bit, and it was like night and day. It changed everything. So this is a little bit of advice for you if you consider buying one of these bikes, or if you have it. If you have that same problem wherever you want to do an incline and you go down to a gear lower and it won't really accept that you turn the throttle, then have the valves loosened a bit, and for me that made a big mistake. But anyway, as you see, the design is kind of more sporty, where the Like was very classic. Also, this bike is a lot lighter. I don't have the official measurements for it, but if I compare with the official measurements from the Vietai, which I suspect is maybe the actual machine here, there's a difference of almost 20% in weight, and of course I feel that. So this one is more swift. Also, it's more like lively when you steer it. That may be a plus or a minus. For a new driver, that may be a minus, but it makes me feel more in control. And also the top speed here is higher. I'm not doing that much on top speed because one, it's not legal. Second, it's not. I don't feel safe riding too fast on a small bike. But I suspect the top speed will be at least 70 kilometers per hour. So this is Lydia. Meet Lydia, and I will now take you on some of the same trips that I did with the Like, namely the Highland Pass. I've done that already because I've been to Hue, for instance, the imperial city of Hue, which you have to pass the Highland Pass to get there, and it did that. But it's more work. I mean, I need to all the time choose the gear that's suitable, whereas the Like, to my surprise, my very positive surprise, actually did it quite well. So that was really fine and good. So it's more work, but it will do it anyway. But that's it for now, and I'll talk a little bit more about the bike once I ride. I'm starting in the second gear, by the way. When it comes to the top speed of Lydia, it's high, definitely higher than it was in the Like. Obviously, everything above 45 doesn't come with a lot of acceleration, but if you turn the throttle full speed, it will get there. And sometimes just being able to get away from something. If someone is driving too close to you or whatever situation, sometimes it's nice to just for a small time just to drive a little bit faster to just get out of it. And she can do that. The legal top speed is, I believe, 50. And I think for me it's an advantage that I know I can drive a bit faster than that if I need it. Not that I'm going A to B, driving 60 for instance, but sometimes it just makes sense to be able to do it for a short while. So here we go, at the foot of the Highland Pass. One thing I've learned when I ride Lydia here is that sometimes it feels like, oh, now I could easily change to the third gear, and it may not be wise to do it because then she may lose the ability to take the throttle. So just like here, I'm now riding in the second gear with quite a lot of revs, but I don't want to go to the third gear because I might take out the speed by doing that. So I'd rather just live with the high revs. Yeah. I hope you can hear me over the engine sound, because I'll just like I did with the Like, I will tell you something about the pros and cons of for me about the semi-automatic. And the pros are, some of them I already mentioned while we were at the parking lot. They are that the bike is lighter, it's more agile, and the steering feels more direct and more responsive. And also I feel more in control of the engine because I choose which gear I want to be in, and I think at this moment I should choose to be in the second gear. And I like that, but that's not necessarily something that everybody likes. But I also like that I have tested Lydia on very difficult roads, on the Santra Peninsula, where you're only allowed to go with an automatic or with a semi-automatic or a fully manual bike. And I was able to go there with Lydia, and some of the inclines were 18%, and we did that. We had to, to go to the first gear well ahead of time to get up the momentum and then keep the momentum of the incline. But we did it, and no small automatic bike would be able to do that. In fact, you're not allowed to drive on that part of the Santra Peninsula on any automatic bike, no matter the size of it. So these to me are some of the cons. These are some of the pros, of course. Price also, and the fact that it's easier, it's cheaper to maintain is a pro. But then the cons are that it's smaller, that you have less luggage space, you have less passenger space, you have a passenger in the back, and you need to I mean, all the time concentrate on which gear is the best. So you need to allocate some of your concentration to maintaining speed and revs, yeah. So that can, at least for some people, that will be a con. And also it is less comfortable. For sure, it is. Suspension is harder, and the seat is less comfortable. It's also not as wide. So yeah, there's less comfort. But as you see now, if you compare my speed to when I came on the Like, she's more powerful. We were not riding this speed up here on the Like now. I need to go down to the second gear momentarily. So there, those are I think the pros and cons. But I'll repeat that the Santra Peninsula thing, that I was able to drive somewhere where no automatic bike is allowed to drive, and I went through the whole thing, even maybe 18 degree inclines, 18% inclines with the 50cc. That to me proves that you are not very limited. Sticking to the legal way of riding a 50cc bike does not limit you a lot. Would I, if I had a driver's license and legally could drive, let's say 125cc, would I then choose to do that? Yes, I would. Because having enough power is more comfortable, is more relaxed. So yeah, of course I would. But would I consider riding one illegally? No, I wouldn't, because I don't have to. I have my riding needs covered by Lydia, or I could have them covered by the Like or another semi-automatic. I'm all the time mentioning that particular bike because I think it's one of the best ones out there. So whatever I say that I can make, I won't say that I can do that on an automatic because I don't know if I can do it on every automatic, but I definitely could do it on the Like. I didn't set out to do anything that day that wasn't doable. But this is easier. We're going faster. So on this piece here, I am driving quite a lot of revs in the second gear because she's struggling to drive here in the third gear, so I just choose not to. But the speed is 27. Compared to the Like, this is faster. And I'm not saying that because I need to go as fast as I can. I'm saying it to prove the point that semi-automatic is basically made to be able to do this easier and faster with more power than the automatic. So I'm almost at the top now. There's only around 1 kilometer left, and I'm now coming to the steepest part, the 10% incline with this and this really beautiful hairpin, and that will be the ultimate test. I remember also when I drove the Like the other day that we got up and there was no problem, but that was the tough part, and I expect it to be the same today, but we got here easily. I've been riding most of the time in second gear because that's just the way the engine works the best here. And here we're losing momentum, but it's going well. And we're still on 22 kilometers per hour, and I don't have to go to the first gear, so at no point getting up here did I have to go to the first gear like I did when I was doing the Suntrap Peninsula 18% incline. But so nowhere here did I go below the second gear, and I did most of it in the second gear because sometimes I can go in the third gear, but then I start to lose momentum soon, and then I need to go back to the second gear, and I figured out why even bother, because it doesn't matter for me. Here we go. Arrived back at the Highland Pass in one piece. And it went well, I believe, because I could easily go here. And compared to driving the Like here, Lydia was faster and she can do more. But the Like is, of course, easier, it's more comfortable. Once you know that the Like is capable of doing it, then it's very relaxing because all you need to do is to get on the bike, start the engine and start driving, and never, you don't need to have any doubts. Whereas on this one, you need to do some more work, shifting gear all the time. So there's that. But she'll do it, and it's also a pleasure. I like to feel in control. I've been here several times before, and riding down that way is, of course, really beautiful. But I can't be bothered doing that today. I would do it, obviously, if I wanted to go to Hue, or there's a waterfall on the other side that's also beautiful as well. I'll take a short break here, and then I will go down again, and I will wrap it up, the pros and cons, and my conclusion. And I could do like the 16, the 17, the 18% incline on the Sontra Peninsula, which brings me to believe that if I make a road trip on Lydia and I drive on normal roads that are accessible to everyone, I won't have any, I won't see anything as difficult as that. I won't see pieces of a normal road where they say, sorry, you can't go ahead here on an automatic bike. They will, of course, always be possible for me to choose a route. Let's say I wanted to go to Ningming with 5 days of driving, 150 kilometers per day. I'm considering doing that. I will not face any challenges that I can't do with Lydia, because even if then there would be roads that would be very steep, there will also be alternatives, because you can't have like a major route between Da Nang and Ninh not available to automatic scooters. So the fact that I'm able to drive Sontra on Lydia, which is a cheap non-brand semi-automatic scooter, a motorbike, makes me feel that I can basically do whatever I want on normal roads with her. And for me, that is a major pro. Major pro. Would I like every day to have the comfort of the Like if I had both of them standing side by side and just pick in the morning, oh, I'm going shopping, which one should I take? I would probably take the Like very often, because it's comfortable and I can have my groceries and all of that. So yeah, that's how it is. If I am to wrap this video up by concluding what's the best bike for you, I obviously can't do that. But I can say that the best bike for most people will be the automatic. If you don't plan to go like really difficult places, and if you want something that's reliable, you go down, you start the engine and you start driving, and that's all there is to it, then by all means go for the automatic. But particularly if you're a tourist, if you're not used to driving any motorbike, if you're a tourist and you're planning to stay here for a week or 2 weeks, there's no way that you should spend your energy on figuring out how to drive a semi-automatic. On one hand, I'll say it's very easy. You can do it 15 minutes after you start, but you'll be comfortable doing it after some time. And you don't need to do that if you're just short term. So I would say that for most people, choosing an automatic would be the wise thing to do. That would be the easy way and the wise thing and the uncomplicated thing, and what would probably make you very happy and make you feel safe and make you get the most out of it. Then for the rest of us who kind of fool ourselves to like the feeling of actually driving a motorbike, even though it's a 50cc, to be in charge of the drive and the gears and be in control, then driving a semi-automatic is more fun, it's more challenging, it's more under my skin than driving an automatic. So I'm perfectly happy with driving a semi-automatic, and I do not regret that I bought one. But I have to be honest, because that's important to me. If at some point I need to change my bike, I will again, I would consider if an automatic is the choice I want to go with at that point, and I would probably do what I just did. I would rent a couple of bikes, a couple of automatic bikes, and figure out if they are what I would enjoy the most. Now I know exactly how it feels to drive a semi-automatic. If I had to change it, I would go in the market to find the most original, upper shelf, luxurious, high quality semi-automatic to compare that with Lydia, because if I'm not talking bad about Lydia, but she's the cheaper end. She is not an original branded bike, and I don't know how, if I buy a SIM make quite good bikes, also semi-automatics. I don't know how she compares to that one, and I would want to know that, of course, if I were to buy a new bike. But let's make it short for once. The final verdict is 9 out of 10 should probably choose an automatic bike. It's plug and play. It will take you through the Highvan Pass. It will take you to Hue if you want to, particularly if you go for one of the good ones, such as the Kymcos that I mentioned. For the rest of us, the selected few who like to be maybe a little bit geeky or like to go into more detail about it, then it is really fun to drive a semi-automatic, and it will, for me, be more fun to have the challenges and the control of the semi-automatic. So I'm so fond of Lydia, and I'll keep on talking very nicely about her, and I'll keep on taking care of her and maintaining her and liking her as much as I've done so far. If you found this video useful and you haven't subscribed to my channel, then please do subscribe. If you want to support me, then please give the video a like, because the more people who like it, the more other people will have it presented to them. And if you have any comments, or if you have any questions that you think I might be able to answer, then please also comment, because anything that happens around this video will make more people be able to watch it. So thank you for watching, and enjoy your day.